The gardening preacher here again. I've taken the grill, the hood, and the dash back off. I got the steering wheel just sitting on there temporarily, and I had the engine sitting in there just to get everything lined up, customize the fit. The only really modifications I had to do was to drill these two holes here, and these two smaller holes was where the clutch bracket originally mounted and then went up to the back of the engine. This was the original holes for the engine, and I had to drill these. This one I ran into a little problem. There's a bracket underneath there, so I wasn't able to drill through. I'm just going to put this in with 3 bolts. I'm using the grade 8 bolt, and that should hold it in place. There shouldn't be a problem with that. I didn't go to great details. This is an economy restoration. I didn't strip underneath and paint it. I did pull my foot pedals off and get them sanded and painted. I painted mine black. I don't know if they were supposed to be orange. They were pretty rusty. And I pulled the clutch shaft pedal out. It goes all the way across there. And I got that pulled out and sanded and painted. Got new clips and bolts to put it back. And I'm getting ready to put the engine back on and mount it. I've got all the parts pulled off of it. There you can see the bracket that I'm building. This bracket attaches here and is welded, and then attaches on the side. And then I'll come off of this down for the piece that has the pulley, this piece here. And I got a collar here that I'm going to use, and this will ride under here somewhere around in there, and that will rock with the clutch to allow it to engage and disengage the transaxle. And so I've got a little bit more welding to do for that. I've got to get it fitted in place. I'll probably have to give me a new pulley. That one's almost seized up. It's very hard to turn. I don't know if I can get that cleaned up or not. Should be able to pick one of those up, Tractor Supply, pretty inexpensively, at least I would hope. And saw another guy restoring a 67, and he recommended the eye bolts for where the old cotter pins go, and that's a great idea. Thanks Saturn V for the tip on that. So I'm going to use that for my spring. I may have to customize my spring length. I'll have to determine where it's going to fit. But I'm getting ready to mount the engine and then finish building my bracket, and I'll post more here. I'll probably do a little bit more recording before I post this. There's my custom exhaust. I've still got some work to do on it, clean up my messy weld there, and I'm thinking about putting a piece from here up to cover this little muffler. This came off of a little Briggs, and what I did was drilled it out a little bit more inside to let it breathe a little bit more. I have fired this engine and run. It sounds pretty good, but of course I can't do that right now with the tank off, so we'll hopefully have it running soon. Alright, I'll record a little bit more a little later. Well, I got my engine mounted, and I put the 3 bolts in it like I said I would do, and I don't think that thing's going anywhere. I'm going to give you a quick shot of the bracket I made. I got a spring here, and it's awful close. It's not touching, but that right there concerns me just a little bit. I had to shorten this spring a little bit. This engine sits further back, and as you can see, I'm going to have a belt about 7 inches shorter. That's my guesstimation at this point. I'll show you what I've done on this. The best I can show you here is I've welded a bracket down, and I've got to finish welding. It's there temporarily, and I've welded a collar on the end, and you can see that it's pretty good. I've got it in there temporarily, and it seems to be functional. When I decided to put this Honda engine in there, one thing that I didn't want to do is a lot of modification. I didn't mind drilling new holes for my engine mounts, but I didn't want to cut especially the hood, the grill, or anything like that. All the parts, if I ever decide to go back to the Tecumseh, all the parts will bolt right back up. I've still got the Tecumseh engine. It's piled there in the corner with all my other junk. And I may go through it someday and get it running and put it back. I don't know. I wish this was a 13 horse Honda, but the way it worked out, I ended up with 11. And for a $100 brand new engine, I can't complain. Several have told me that it should do the job. I had to shorten my linkage down underneath there. Took a piece of rod and made it just shy of 5 inches. And so you can see here's the original. And there's the original mount for the engine, back of the engine. I got a mess here. I got to put my brake back on. But I really haven't modified anything. The worst that I've had to do, other than drilling the new holes, which nobody will ever notice, I had to round this corner off right here. When I put the cover on there, it's awful close to that. But nobody will ever notice that. I've still got the original battery tray and the gas tank. And that engine did not take a battery. There was 2 versions of the 68 Suburban 12. There was the recoil, which was the last 3 digits are 340, and then the 350 was the electric start. And mine was a 340, so it was a recoil from the factory, and this Honda engine's a recoil, so everything looks good. I won't have to have a battery. When I got my frame painted, I got the engine mounted. I may end up taking it off one more time, and I'm thinking about getting a threaded pipe for the oil drain there. You can see at the bottom, and have it drain out here and underneath the tractor. But even as it is, it's going to run back and out from underneath it and maybe not make too bad of a mess. But the modification has gone really well. It's adapted well. As you remember, I had the hood and the grill and dash set on temporarily, and it cleared. I had to notch the corner of my little plastic housing there, but that's no big deal to me. Nobody will ever notice that. But it fit right in. And I've got had a little accident. It seems like I have a lot of those. Had a little gas leak on my new paint job. And I've got to repaint my recoil. Here's the worst of the damage. It really eat that up. The paint had not cured good. Paint man told me that you let this Krylon set for about 30 days and it should be tough enough to withstand the gas. My gas tank is okay. You remember I had my dingle. There's what I've done with it. It's not even noticeable if you ask me. I don't think anybody ever knew there was a dingle there if I didn't tell them. But anyway, well, this is where I'm at. Just wanted to show you what I've got. I'm going to try to pick up me a new 5/8 belt and get everything lined up. It looks like everything's going to run. I'm a little concerned there. It looks like it may need to come over. I don't know what I'll have to do about that, but it's pretty close. All right, I may post some once I get it running. Well, here's where I'm at on my restoration. Engine's mounted. I got the gas tank and the side cover and recoil on temporarily. I'm going to take them back off and put some more paint on it, especially where I had my gas leak. The engine is mounted. The bracket is built. Let me come around and I'll show you what I got on the bracket. I've got it all hooked up. I had to do a little bit of adjusting on it. I had to slide the pulley on the engine over just a little bit. It wasn't lining up quite right, but I've got it dialed in. And I had to redo this bracket. By the way, this pulley I mentioned was almost locked up, and I put some lubricant I've got on it and freed it right up. I welded in me a chain link for my spring hook. Instead of mounting to where it normally was, I wouldn't be able to get to it. And then back here I've used the eye bolt. Works pretty good. Let me show you what I used on that pulley. Never can find it when you need it. It's GM Goodwrench heat valve lubricant. It's got graphite in it. Sprayed a little of that on there and it freed it right up. But I've got the pulley lined up now. You can see back, I don't know if you can see back through there, it's lined up pretty good. And I had to slide the clutch bracket pulley over just a little bit, about a 1/4 inch or so. But everything's running today. I took it out. It's a little rainy here today, but I fired it up and got everything hooked up and went out through the yard. I had it in low gear and didn't have it hooked up, and boy, it didn't go very fast. I was wondering what was going on. I reached down to put it in high and the linkage was unhooked, so I had to come in and hook it up. Took it for another spin. It did great. I've got to get a tie rod in. I've got a tie rod in there. I've got it hooked up temporarily. But the Honda engines, it runs good. See if I can get it started for you. It probably is not going to start for me. I think it runs pretty good. Got a belt guard for a Sears rotospader. It's got some surface rust on it. I think it can be cleaned up and probably can get a new decal made. It's got one little crack there. I was going to tack weld that and clean it up, do it from the inside. And since I changed out the engine on my rotospader, I can't use it. So if any of you guys that have one, wanting one, I'll let that go pretty reasonably. Contact me and make me an offer. We'll make a deal. All right, I'm gonna go. The next time I post, I'll probably be working on the grill, the dash, and the hood. I got a fender to do and get it mounted, and we're on the way back together now. Thank y'all for your interest.